Hi everybody and welcome to my first live stream. This may or may not be rubbish, but it probably will be. So we are going to broadcast some Assetto Corsa today. So we are just setting that up as we speak. And I thought for my first stream what I'd do is I was going to do some classic racing. And as the title says, today we're going to be doing some Super GT. Now that's a series from Japan. Some of you will know that series because it is, of course, famous for being popularized by the Gran Turismo series of games in the 1990s. So any racing model cars that you raced in the Gran Turismo series, all the ones that costed 500,000 credits and all of that in the early games, particularly 1 and 2, chances are they were from the Japanese Gran Turismo Championship. Or was it the Japanese Grand Touring Championship? Sorry. And so that's what we're going to be racing today. So we're going to give that a go. I'm just setting this all up in Content Manager now because it's decided to change on me a little bit here. But we're just going to do that now. Super GT. Pick my car. So I'm going to be using, interestingly, the only thing about this series was that some of the cars that were included in it in the actual series didn't make the game because the game, as you probably know if you've played the original Gran Turismo, was mostly just Japanese cars, and there were in fact a couple of international manufacturers at the time. So there were some international manufacturers, but they didn't make it into the Gran Turismo games. I believe they were planning on adding the car that I am racing, but didn't end up doing so. Mostly because probably licensing issues. So we're going to be racing on Suzuka, which is one of the Japanese tracks of the time. And we'll see how this goes. So hopefully this will all come through for you in a second. So we're going to be driving a Lamborghini Diablo from the GT500 class. Now I have put both classes in, the GT500 and the GT300, just to give us a proper feel of that multi-class feel. Although in Assetto Corsa my experience is that the multi-class field with the AI can be a little bit stressful, particularly when you're lapping them if they're slower cars. But hopefully we'll be somewhere near just loading all the cars and we'll be in. So I tested the video quality in the last couple of days and it seemed to be okay, so I'm hopeful that it's going to come through alright for you guys. Anybody who does watch this, whether you're watching it now or whether you're watching it at a later date. So here we have the cars and there's some flashing lights. Just the flashing headlights of cars behind us. So here we have. So if we go back to the pits, we can look at the leaderboard. It might be a bit small for you there because I have a 4K monitor, but I can't stream in 4K because that's incredibly difficult to do. So I might try and make these bigger at some point for the future videos, make it a little bit easier for everyone to see. But there we have we've got some Toyota MRSs, if I show you these. So I'll give you an idea of the look of some of the cars before we carry on. So these are the MRSs. They are from the GT300 class. We've also got some Nissan Silvias from the same class. Dodge Viper from GT500 class. Along with the F1 GTR Longtails, they were competing at this time. The Honda NSXs. We've got some Toyota Supras with the famous Denso Sard there, and the Tom's Castrol there, and some Nissan GTRs. There's the Calsonic one. But I myself am driving this Lamborghini Diablo. So we'll just take a second and then we'll be going out on track. And I'm hoping that I'm going to be doing a few streams over the coming months. We've got so the league that I race in OSR, they will be doing an Indy 500 race this year. They do that every year in around about the same time. I think it's usually the week before the actual event, and I'm going to try and stream that live if it's going, or if all goes according to plan. I believe that will be an R Factor 2, but I do need to double check that because I haven't done any racing with them for a while, so I just need to check that. So I have done absolutely zero practice on this track, so I don't know the circuit all that well. But we'll get out there, we'll give it a go, and we'll see what the car's like, if we need to make any setup adjustments or anything like that. Oh, it's a bit slidey there. Might need to have a look at that rear wing. It's great if you don't practice, because the thing is, if I don't practice, then yeah, it'll probably look less professional, but it'll be a lot more amusing for anyone who watches the video. So let's turn the rear wing up just a tad. I'm one of these guys that I quite like my cars to not be too tail happy. One thing I do like about Assetto Corsa is that, just let these guys through, they are very unaggressive sometimes, the AI of Assetto Corsa. You do have to fiddle with the settings, and to be honest with you, that's really bad for me. Let's get out of the way. It's one of those games where you have to fiddle with the settings different for each mod. So for example, the aggression that you use for a Formula 1 car and the AI in that will probably be very different to what you would use for GT cars, touring cars and the like, so you have to really fiddle about with it. But there's a great tool called Content Manager that makes it a lot easier to do that. I'm not finding these cars easy to drive yet. The tyres are very cold and I've just pushed this Super off. It's not easy, it's not easy at all, this. I'm a big fan of Lamborghinis, which is why I decided on the Diablo. Really struggling to get some temperature in the tyres. This is a proper hard work at the start. Just starting now. Not going to worry too much. This is a practice session, so I'm not going to worry too much about holding up the other guys. Obviously, if this was an online race, I'd be a lot more worried about it. Great thing is you don't get grief from AI, do you? I'm starting to get some temperature in the tyres now. So hopefully the car's just starting to feel a little bit easier to drive. I'm hoping that later on, once I've done this video and this stream, I'm going to add the links to the mods in the description of the video. The problem I have is that I'm one of these guys that likes to collect lots of cars and drive lots of stuff, so I've got about 3,000 cars for Assetto Corsa now that I've gathered over the years. It's difficult to remember what came from where. But I will do a search and try and find those for you later on. Through the centre chicane. Right, let's see if we can get a flying lap in. We're going a lot slower than the other guys at the moment though. Lovely noise, that. Oh, just about stayed on the track. I'm wondering if the other thing about Assetto Corsa is, depending on what you're driving, the difficulty of the AI can be very different. For example, I'm on 100%, which is what I normally drive on for any Formula 1 cars or anything like that, but it does seem to be quite difficult in this car. That could just be because I'm not very good with this car, to be honest. It is my first laps in it, and GT racing is not something that I've done a lot of over the years either, so... Oh, that's very wide there, but I think we stayed just about enough on track. Up into the hairpin. Fastest laps are 1 minute 54 at the moment. We're not going to be anywhere near that. As long as I'm faster than the GT300s, that would be really embarrassing. We're off the track. Alright, just gather it back up, don't overdo it. Watch for the gap. Get used to the car. Might have to increase the downforce a little bit, I think. But 22 minutes of practice left. I want to give myself plenty of time to get used to the car, make sure that any setting changes I make are going to be meaningful. Definitely need some more grip. Oh, bit of lag there, sorry about that. So in theory we're what? About 20 odd seconds off the fastest times. Definitely need to have a look at the setup a bit and also find an awful lot in myself, to be fair. So what can we do? Can we change... how much fuel are we running? I need to complete at least 2 laps to know whether that's useful. I am going to put some more rear wing in. And I'm going to increase the camber as well. Front camber. And decrease rear camber. Give that a go. So we were on the medium slicks there, so I've just changed onto the softs, so hopefully that will give us a bit more pressure. I'm going to lower... am I going to lower the type? No, I'll leave those alone for now, actually. We've increased the downforce again, we've increased the camber. Hopefully this is going to give us a little more time. And I have to remember to take it really steady on the outlap, because those cold tyres in these cars are severe. Here, let this guy through. It's one of the GT300s, I think. Starting to get the tyres up to temperature again. The car's feeling a lot better. I think there's still some changes that we could make, but it doesn't feel as bad. But at the moment it feels like I'm almost driving a different car to some of the other guys out there. So we've got to really find some extra pace. See how close we can get. Ugh, turning well enough. That little beep there telling me that I'm shifting down too quickly. The car won't let you do it. There's a bit of a safety device in there to stop you over revving the engine. It's a bit wide. Overheating the front right. Won't worry about that at the moment. Just need to get this car around these S-bends. It's better. There goes the McLaren. I'm sure that there's something wrong with this particular car in the mod. I don't know, maybe it is just me. They're pulling away on the straights a lot as well, though. Ah! It's not turning. I think I must be missing something here, because I'm going to be slower than the GT300s. Be back in just a second with this. There's another go just to check all the settings, make sure that I've not missed something. It might be my steering settings, to be fair. Let's give that a look. Seems all fine. Ah, okay. Turns out much simpler than that. I'm using the wrong version of the car. That's never a good idea. There's the only problem with gathering 3,000 mods. If you do that, rename them well. Because with the good thing about Content Manager is you can rename the cars in Content Manager. And I haven't done that with all of them, and I wish I had, because early on I was gathering mods and not renaming them right. And you can have more than one version of the same car that might have a different power setting. Because obviously mods are made to hopefully make the cars fairly accurate, but the only thing is, there's a lot less I can do here now, that's it. Okay, so we can't actually adjust anything in setup, it's fixed setups. That's fine though, I don't mind that. Oh, we just had an error there, I'm afraid, chat. Just a second. It's all going very well. Okay, so Assetto Corsa has just decided to crash on me. So we'll give that another go, and hopefully this time it will come through okay. It's good that I get all these things ironed out before I stream the 500, because I don't want to be having this during the middle of the Indy 500. I'd rather just get on and race. But I will give this another go now. So I want to be on soft tyres. Please work. Okay, there's a problem with the car. So I'm going to use a different car. It's the easiest way to do this. I'm going to use the Denso Supra, and we'll take the other Denso Supra out of the race so that it's not. It's nice to have. I find it's nice to have lots of different skins. Just makes it look a little bit more interesting. There's some great stuff out there. There's some brilliant skinners. Is that the correct word? That make these cars for these mods, and there's some absolutely wonderful stuff. I wish I had the talent to do that. I know that we have a guy at OSR who does a lot of them called Alan Fry, who is absolutely brilliant. And when Automobilista 2 came out, he did all of these skins, and he'd have them out so quickly when they were able to start doing them, and it's impressive how quick that some of them can work. Because it takes me hours to get anything that even resembles adequate, to be honest. Okay, so we are now in the Supra. We're now also right-hand drive. Were we right-hand drive before? Yeah, we probably were. It just feels like I'm sat further across in the car. I can't remember. Anyway, we'll let that NSX go. Right, now. Oh, bit of locking from the NSX. I don't know if that car's supposed to be smoking. Certainly doesn't look quite right. As I think we might have some issues there with the shaders. This is feeling a lot better now. I mean, I'm still not used to these cars, so I'm still slower than these guys, but I'm not getting totally eaten up anymore because we're in a car that actually seems to be matching. It's a shame the Diablo didn't work, though, that comes from the same mod. So, and it's possible that there's just been a file error when I've been uploading some of the other cars across time, so I might be able to get that fixed for future events doing this particular mod. Still got blue tyres, but they do feel a lot better on this car, I have to say, than the other version, the other JGTC cars that I was driving before, because we still got blue tyres, but I can actually have some feel on them. Oh, the Castrol Supra is going for the inside. Give him enough room. There we go. Spitting smoke like a fire-breathing dragon. Whoa! passed by one of the Silvias. Might have been the Skyline actually. I hope it wasn't a Silvia. That's in the 300 class. See there that UGE days just set a lap. I can't be slower than E-Day. We all remember his Formula 1 career. All very brief. I think I'm right in saying he ended his Formula 1 career, didn't he, by tipping Albers upside down at Imola. If I remember rightly. In that Super Aguri. Just losing the back end there a couple of times. Just if you hit the curbs in these cars, it really does unsettle them. Probably better staying away from those if I can. Although there are a couple of corners around this track where it's very difficult to take a good racing line and not hit the curb, like here for example. But they're not as... don't seem to be quite as unforgiving, those curbs. So there's a yellow flag out. Don't know what that's for. Oh, there's a car off there and there. Apparently the AI don't understand the don't overtake under yellow flags rule. AI much harder in this mod, I have to say, than the ones I was running last week. I was doing some testing actually in some 1960s Trans Am cars last week, and that was the AI in that were a lot more easy to keep up with. Wide. That's the line. I'm inventing my own new racing lines. So the fastest episode is sort of 2:06 period. We're in 2:17. We're about 13 seconds off. It's far too much. That is awful. Orange NSX behind us. Oh! Nearly lost the back end again there. So either the AI in this mod are ridiculously overpowered, or I'm really not very good in these cars. I don't think my performance delta's working at the moment anyway. That might be because I defaulted on the last lap, had that track cut. See how fast we can get. We just keep going. I don't know if these tyres are going to warm up actually. They're still blue. Might have to lower the pressures a bit, try and get them up. These cars are fun to drive. I'm not sure the setup's quite right, but it's interesting. I don't mind driving lots of different mods. I personally find that's fine. You know, at the end of the day, you either have it or you don't have it at all, so. Oh, there's a car on the outside there. We are a long way off the pace. I'm still nearly as badly off the pace as I was before, but I am 34 seconds faster than E-Day, although I think that might be because he's not completed a flying lap. Yes, he's only done one. I was on hard tyres. That wouldn't help. I'll reduce the amount of litres now because we don't need that many even for the race. So I'm going to reduce it to 4.4, 2 flying laps qualifying. Increase the rear wing a bit, increase the front camber like I did last time. Probably increase the steering assist as well, I think. Let's give this another go. Oh, we were going to increase tyre pressures as well, haven't we? I haven't done that yet. Decrease tyre pressures even. Increase those by 4 in the front and rear. I think the balance is pretty good, so I'm not going to adjust that for the moment. We need to try and get some temperature. Have to get ahead of the GT300 cars at least. But I think the AI in this may be well overpowered. I mean, even if I reduce this to like 80-70% on the difficulty, I'm still going to be struggling. Managed to avoid the wall there just. Okay, we've got a bit of a gap to the car behind us. Let's concentrate on seeing if we can get these tyres up to temp. We're on the softs now, so we should have a bit more grip. So today really is a test stream just to check that everything's kind of working, it's not coming through too laggy, make sure everything. So I'm well aware that I may not have any viewers of this stream at all. That's fine, because it's all just to check that everything's going to be okay for when I do the 500 hopefully. We are getting some temperature in the rear left now. Oh, sideways there. Can't get temperature in the tyres. Probably because I'm not going fast enough, I suppose. It just feels very sketchy to go any quicker. was going to get hit there. I don't think we actually took any damage. I think he might have just missed us. Whoa! Kobayashi move there. That was for the fastest car on track. Just gave us a bit of a tap there. This is awful, getting passed by absolutely everybody. Got 15 minutes left of practice and then we'll see. I'm just going to try and do as many laps as I can on this. I've got 2 flying laps, haven't I, on this fuel load. So I'm going to give it a go for the next flying lap and see if I can at least get somewhere ahead of the GT300s. At least we may have an enjoyable race with them. It's very disconcerting though. When you're slower than the class below you. Really got to fix these shaders as well before the next time I do a video on Assetto Corsa, because we shouldn't have smoke coming out of the cars constantly. Looks like they're just all having engine failures. I think it was a custom shader pack I downloaded, but it's obviously not quite configured right. Oh, same corner again. It's frustrating. Okay, do you know what? Let's just go for a race and see what it's like. I'm well aware that I'm probably going to come last, but you know, let's have a bit of fun. At the end of the day, this is to test the stream as well. We're doing that and it's looking pretty good. I'm going to lower these gears a bit, give us a bit more off the corners. Suzuka doesn't have any really long straights, so we'll skip session. Let's go straight to the race. Let's do a 10-lap race and see how awful it is and how many times I get lapped. That's not the right one. Apparently that is the right camera. I always forget about that. It disconcerts me in Assetto Corsa. The camera adjusts to look at where the nearby cars are, which is like a driver's head would, I suppose, but it looks like it's raining, doesn't it? The way these cars are moving about. Oh! Aggression might be turned up a little too far. Have we held it? We have, just. What this has taught me is do test runs in the cars to make sure that they're set up correctly for the race, because as I said earlier, the aggression in these cars is probably, this mod's probably a little too high at the moment. see if we can catch a few guys. Yeah, that was fine, not track cut there. Oh, is that corner? I seem to lose... There's a bump on entrance, I seem to lose the car on it every single time. Might rename the video to the worst sim racing driving you're ever likely to see. We are 6.9 seconds behind Seiji Ara. Sorry Japanese people, I am well aware that I may have not pronounced that right. Not that there's going to be anybody Japanese watching this. Be lucky if there's anyone British. Right. Come on, we can make this time. Let's keep trying to beat our lap times. Let's see if we can close that gap in. Oh, we are closing. A little bit. We might not come last. Somebody might DNF. Thank you for the S-curves. I need these to try and get the tyres up to temperature, because they really do not, in this mod, get up to temperature very easily. It might be the way I'm driving. Concentration there. We actually losing ground? We are, aren't we? Definitely doing something wrong in these cars. Snatched a break there, but we're okay. Nearly lost it. Yes, we were half a second slower than the guy in front. Although somebody has retired now, one of the NSXs, I think. Delta's not working properly on this track, I have noticed. Caught that just. It's a workout is this car, I tell you. You're getting plenty of pulling on the force feedback. I think it would be an absolutely great car to drive online, but at the moment I am finding that the AI are far too hard. It doesn't help when I go off on the track like that. some nice temperature in the rear left now. So this race now is just going to be about me beating my own lap times, I think. Oh! Oof. Oh. That was pure luck. Don't have the confidence in these cars that I need at the moment. Sliding a lot. And that's despite the fact that I've turned the rear wing. I think I had it on maximum. Need those gears set a bit higher as well. They not getting anywhere near the top speed on the straight. Oh, it's just so easy to lose grip. If you're a casual sim racer, my suggestion to you is don't drive this mod. Oof. I'm sweating. We are going to finish the race though. I'm absolutely somebody must have gone off the track. There's somebody behind me. Determined we are at least going to have a go at finishing. I'm in 22nd now, so yes, somebody is behind me. Somebody must have gone off, didn't see that, too busy having my own accidents. It's one of the GT500 class as well, so I'm not even last in the class now. Or I will be again in a second. How is he that late on the brakes without spinning out? That's the problem. That's probably why I got T-boned earlier on as well. Which is not T-boned, is it, when somebody goes into your back? That's, yeah, I-boned. I'm just going to let him go, because look at that. How do you brake that late without spinning out? I cannot get this car to do that. Well, that was fun. So what have we learned? We have learned that the JGTC mods for the year 2000 for Assetto Corsa are a little tricky if you want to beat the AI. There may be some of you out there who are proper hardcore pros who are able to do that, but you know, I'm an average sim racer, I'm not bad, and I can't get anywhere near. With a bit more practice, I suspect I would be able to improve that by quite a bit in my lap times, but not by 18 seconds. So, I don't know. Maybe the AI is not too much, maybe it is. I think it is. I'm going to try it again probably sometime on my own time at about 80% and see if that makes any difference, and maybe post another video when I do. For the time being, yep, we got some driving done. Hopefully we tested the stream and hopefully it's been okay. I'll post details. I will schedule the stream for the 500, so you will know when that's going to happen ahead of time, and you know, subscribe and like if you want to. If you don't. See you soon.